How to make profitable thin value bets in poker. Have you ever wondered how to make those tricky thin value bets in poker? It can be a game changer if done right. Let's break down how you can profit from these bets while playing post-flop. A thin value bet is a wager made with a hand that is not the strongest but still likely to win slightly more than half the time when called. The aim is to extract extra value from opponents who might call with weaker hands. First, you need to spot the right moments for thin value bets. One of the best times to do this is when a strong draw, like a flush or straight, misses on the river. If you have been betting aggressively earlier in the hand, your opponent might suspect you missed your draw. This makes them more likely to call with weaker hands. For instance, if you have second pair with a weak kicker, betting in this situation can be profitable. Many opponents will call with middle pairs or weak top pairs. Next, consider who you are playing against. Thin value bets are most effective against weaker or passive players. These players tend to call with mediocre hands rather than folding or raising. If you are up against strong or aggressive opponents, thin value bets can be risky. They might raise or fold too often, which can cut into your profits. Stack sizes also play a role in your strategy. If your stack is much larger than your opponent's, they may be less inclined to call thin bets. The risk is higher for them. In contrast, during early tournament stages or in cash games with deep stacks, smaller bets can entice calls from weaker hands. Bet sizing is another key factor. Your thin value bet should be big enough to build the pot and extract value, but not so large that it scares off calls from weaker hands. A good rule of thumb is to bet between 2/3 and 3/4 of the pot. However, adjust this based on your opponent, board texture, and previous actions. Smaller bets often work better against weak players, while larger bets may be necessary against cautious players. Always think about the entire hand's action. If the betting has been passive, a small thin value bet can often succeed. If you have been aggressive throughout, your opponent might expect a bluff or a strong hand. This makes sizing and timing even more important. To sum it up, to make profitable thin value bets, identify spots where your opponent is likely to call with worse hands, especially when draws miss on the river. Target weaker players who call with marginal hands. Adjust your bet size to maximize calls without pushing opponents to fold. Consider stack sizes and the stage of the tournament to gauge risk and reward. Use the betting pattern and board texture to support your story and induce calls. By applying these strategies, you can consistently make thin value bets that boost your long-term profitability in poker.